Hello everyone and welcome to math class. Math centers provide opportunities for students to practice and apply skills and strategies taught within the classrooms. We want students to feel engaged in these purposeful centers, so teachers have the opportunity to work individually or with small flexible groups to meet the individual needs of students. When I was in the classroom, I loved to do this activity with my third grade students. They loved the mystery in finding out the answers to math equations. All about me. Can you figure me out? So what this activity does is it required an addition, a subtraction, a multiplication, and a division equation. And I would tell them that they would only be able to use between 2 and 4 numbers per equation. So sometimes we wouldn't get out 1 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1 kind of equation. We want it to be more challenging and thought-provoking. There are so many extensions that you can do with this activity. You can do things such as your shoe size, your class number, how many students are in the class. It's just a fun math classroom icebreaker that uses simple math equations. Students should make these simple math equations that can be answered through numerical questions. Then allow your classmates to get together to solve the problems to see if they can learn about each other. It's the power of critical thinking skills to encourage friendships. What better way to do a hands-on math activity than asking students to create their name using tens and ones. So first you have each student to use 10 and ones to spell out their name. They count the number of tens and one blocks to determine what their name's place value is. How cool was that? Your name creates a number. So how does this all fit into cultural relevance when teaching? According to the American author Ralph Ellison, it is through our names that we first place ourselves in the world. Our names begin the gift of others, must be made our own. Indeed, when we meet someone new, our name is usually like the first piece of information that we share with each other. So this activity invites students to reflect on the power of our names and consider the steps that they can use to ensure how our names empower each other. Students come from a wide range of ethnic, racial, and religious backgrounds. In some cases, students' names may sound unfamiliar to their teachers or peers. So this activity can also be an extension of, hey, what does my name mean to me? Recently, I had a class that I had to research that allowed me to understand what was the story behind my name. So what we had to do, we had to research our name to see about our own identity. And it was amazing to me. It also bridges the gap of how many times haven't you had your name mispronounced. So it's also a good way to help your peers and your teacher work on the pronunciation of your name. My name's Lakeisha. Very hard for people to remember. All my life, people have had the hardest time saying my name. My name has an American and English origin, and it dated back to the 1900s. Very popular name in 1985. So, cool story. My mom was a mathematics major and had 2 professors that she loved at UNCP. One of them being Dr. Diaruda and one of them being Dr. Wish. So, she was attending UNCP and she would have graduated in December with her mathematics degree. However, she was killed. So, it was a great research for me to understand how my grandmother told me this story about my name. And when I found out the origin of my name, it means great joy. So she said the meaning of my name, meaning great joy, that I will forever bring her great joy in her life. How awesome. really good activity to get your kids engaged in mathematics. Standard alignment. So this standard goes with second grade students. So second grade students are learning place value representations in 3-digit numbers, ones, tens, and hundreds. For example, if you give a child a number of 340, they need to know that the 3 represents the hundreds, the 4 represents the tens, and the 0 represents the 1. So students are expected to point out the value of the given unit in a 3-digit number. For example, again, if you have the number 340, 3 stands for 300, and its place value is hundreds. They need to be able to do that. They need to understand that the place value language describes amounts. For example, the place value of 3 is in the hundreds place. The place value of 4 is in the tens place. The place value of 0 is in the ones place. Being able to understand and remember that 300 can be represented as 300 single units. Being able to understand and group and regroup numbers when solving addition and subtraction problems. So this is how the standard aligns with this activity. So how would one say that we would have rigor in this activity? What ways could we promote rigor? So students will apply their knowledge through a center where they focus on task cards with a specific skill set. So these task cards focus on the value of a number as well as place of numbers. There are also cards for written, numerical, and expanded form. A good extension of this learning would be having to challenge your students to write their own or create their own place value task card set. So you would be able to teach your students and they will be able to demonstrate mastery of the skill, plus you can use them in your class. So not only will this task give the students practice with math, it also involves writing skills as well. So a great bridge for rigor when using this place value task cards. So how will we assess students on this? So students will be assessed on their understanding of place value through either wise error analysis activity or writing activity if you want to be more formal or informal with your assessments. It's essential to have students write about their math understanding. This goes deeper than constructed response math problems and strategies such as like cubes. Students should write to express their understanding of a variety of math concepts. If students don't have a lot of experience writing about math, it's hard. So in this prompt here on the page, you see that students have to circle which word doesn't belong, whether it's value, worth, place, or digit, and then write 2 sentences that explain how the word is different from the other 3, and 2 sentences that explain how the other 3 words are similar. So in this activity, there isn't really a wrong or right answer. Instead, students are explaining their ideals, being able to put it on paper and understand that conceptual understanding. The other assessment piece that you could use is error analysis. This is a great way to get students to dig deeper into those math concepts. So in this center, you would include 4 analysis problems where a question or direction is given and a student answers the question incorrectly. Then students must identify the mistake and explain why the student likely made the mistake, then solve the problem correctly. So this is how we could work with our students on making sure that they have mastered these skills within these math centers. So I'm going to leave you with a quote. The only way to learn mathematics is to do mathematics. I hope you enjoyed my presentation. Thank you.